Welcome Home, Central Iowa's guide for living, with a variety of information and ideas on building, remodeling, decorating, landscaping, entertaining, and much more. Everything you need to know to make your home a welcome home. Now, with Central Iowa's guide for living, here's Sherry Failor.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome home. I'm Sherry Failor. Thanks so very much for being with us this morning. As always, we love having you here with us on Welcome Home. We hope you are having a great weekend, summer weekend for everybody, and doing lots of things outdoors, probably. Always lots of activities. I think this weekend I need to mow my lawn. I think it's ready, and I may need to borrow the farmer's hay baler, I have a feeling, at some point. But it is on my agenda this week. So we have a guest with us today that we haven't seen here for quite a while, and he's nice enough that he's going to be here with us for the whole show because we got so gosh darn much to talk to him about. I have Kevin Johnson from Accurate Development with me. How are you, Kevin?
Great. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Thanks for coming in today. We appreciate this. Kevin and I go way back. We won't say how long, right?
No.
We were just joking and telling Steve, our engineer, about our stories about doing the TV show together and all of those kind of things. And we've both come a long way since then, right?
Yes, we have.
There we go. There we go. Well, Kevin has Accurate Development. Tell me, and the nice thing of why I wanted Kevin to be with me the whole time this time, if he could, because developer, builder, very involved with all of these things, and we don't always get the developers on. So this is a good chance for us to talk about some of those things as well. Accurate Development, how long around? I should know this.
Since 1991, so it's 24 years.
Wow. And they said it wouldn't last, right?
That's exactly what they said.
That's right. And actually, you've got some of the building stuff kind of in your blood, don't you, though?
Sure. My dad had started, he was in commercial construction,
right.
So that's basically where I grew up. In commercial, you have a lot more development involved than just building a building, so that's kind of what dovetailed into the development side of it as well.
Absolutely. So if your dad was doing the commercial stuff, I get the development side. How'd you decide that building houses instead of building buildings seemed like a better idea?
Well, the homes...
Timing?
Timing was one. The housing market in 1991 was very good. And two, you could get into it fairly easily. Commercial, you had to have contacts. Yep. You had to be older. And I was 23 when I started.
A little more established out there.
I was awfully young to do that.
And dollars was just different, too.
Sure.
To go out and build a building, that's probably got a few more zeros in it, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, did Dad have you out like sweeping up the buildings and all of that stuff?
About 10 years old is when we started.
There you
go. We've been on the construction side ever since.
And actually, you kind of made it into a family affair now, too, because Brenda, your lovely bride, is a real estate agent, so she lists all the property, right?
Correct.
And both of your kids are kind of in the biz now, too, aren't they?
Actually, my daughter just got her real estate license, so she started as well.
Hanging out with Mom?
Yeah, hanging out with Mom. And my son he's actually doing commercial work now, but he's back and forth between residential and commercial.
Cool.
So he started as well.
Good for him. And I have to laugh because I do remember when we would do the television show, we were out in a project called Hallbrook a lot because that was a big project for you. And we would chat, and you tell me that on the weekends, you and your son would be out there putting in signs down the project and everything. So he got to get started real early, too, didn't he?
He did. He was putting in signs. He did all the mowing. He's been around it since basically before he was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So he's been around a long, long time.
Well, I think that's the best learning opportunity for him, too.
Absolutely.
So Accurate Development will continue on, it sounds to me like.
I hope so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to talk to you about, I'm going to piece this out a little bit, and we'll just kind of go from one to other as we go along here, Kevin. I want to talk to you about the developing side of things, because obviously you can't have any houses unless you have any lots, right?
Correct.
And there seemed like for a long time, when things kind of, my term, crash and burn there for a while, we didn't have a lot of lots, as we like to joke about, coming online, trying to get rid of some. There wasn't a lot of new developments, not a lot of new projects. That has kind of changed, hasn't it, lately?
It has. There's several different areas that are available today. We use that time at Accurate Development. We were actually purchasing land. We have to be very selective in what we build on. Our homes are pretty much upper end. We start at about $500,000, and we go on up from there. So I can't just take a flat cornfield and make it into something that looks like one of our neighborhoods.
And the unique thing that is a little different for you is because you are doing the developments, but then you're building all the homes in those developments as well. So you are really looking at not just what everybody else might be able to put a house on or buy or whatever. They really have to fit what you build.
Correct. We look at a lot of different things when we start with the land.
I was just going to ask you that. What do you
Sure.
What do you look at when you start looking at something?
First of all, we like something that has some rolling to it. We don't like flat ground. People like walkouts. We like to have a mixture of walkouts. Some people don't like walkouts, so we want to have some areas that are flat. We like trees. We also have a tree farm that every development we do, we add a bunch of trees to. Hallbrook, for example, we added over 1,000 trees in there, so it looks like a mature area very quickly.
And we laugh about this all the time, but like I said, the first time we did the television show out at Hallbrook, which was a big project that was there for several years as it was developing, there was nothing to look at except a sign in the front, was there?
Yep. And we started Hallbrook in 2001, so we're just wrapping that up. We only have one new home available today, and that's our very last one. 369 homes.
Wow, Kevin,
we
that's
have one,
great.
I got a great home remaining.
Great.
We just started trimming it this week,
fun.
It's coming down to the very end.
Cool. Well, and it sounds to me like when you guys are looking at it too, as you said, not a flat line, but you're looking for something that makes it a little more unique.
Sure. And we like to, as we do the design, we look at an entire piece of land, so it's not just a little piece here and a little piece there. We master plan the entire area.
What does master plan mean in that?
Well, master plan is you don't want a $1 million house next to a $500,000 house. So you group some lots together that are bigger, that are going to take a little bit larger home.
Okay.
Maybe some areas that have more trees, less trees, and a park area, something else that you look at.
Ponds. Hallbrook had ponds.
We had a pond in Hallbrook. Our new one, Acadia, we centered a park in the center of it, so everybody can get to it. The access is very easy.
Nice.
And we took the natural drainage ways and groomed them up, and we turned them from drainage ways to a nice treed area that it's nice and groomed.
Little greenbelt area.
Yeah, greenbelt, exactly.
Perfect.
So we've added things to them to make them something that somebody would like to back up.
So it's not like, how big did you say Hallbrook was when you bought it? 400 acres, was it?
Hallbrook was 200 acres, 193.
So I was giving you credit for even bigger than that then. So, but when you're looking at that, as opposed to saying, all right, I'm going to look at this 40 acres here and I'm just going to do something there, and then maybe I'll look at this 40 acres. That's not what you guys are doing, though, is it? You are looking at that whole 200 acres and draw it all out before you ever even get started.
Yep. Just to make sure all the stuff works, like the walking paths to the park, make sure they make sense. Like the pond that we did at Hallbrook, access to the pond, who's going to back up to it, how do you best utilize the land that we have.
And I think the other part of that is interesting is on that, because this is not, developing ground is not that easy, quick little, let's buy the ground and we've decided what we're going to put on there, and 30 days from now we can be putting some houses up. It's a much longer process than that, isn't it?
It is. We typically figure it takes us 2 years from the time we purchase it. You have to get all your city approvals. You have to get all your state approvals. If it has wetlands in it, you have to go through Wetlands and Waterways United States, which is a big issue that's in the news today. But
and hopefully you don't dig up anything and find something underneath it, right?
But typically we figure from the day we purchase the ground to when we can start building houses is about 2 years.
Okay. And is that something unique that you end up developing the ground and that you are the only one building the homes in there? I mean, do other people do that, or why do you like doing it that way?
We do it because we can make it an entire neighborhood. Our new tagline is more than just a neighborhood, which is what we do. It's more than just a neighborhood.
Sure.
I believe we're the only ones that are 100% in our communities.
Okay.
There's other developers out there that will build some of them, but the lots are also for sale, so they sell out. So I always like to say you don't have that cheater in the neighborhood. In ours.
Cheater lots,
they all kind of, the houses aren't the same. We don't do cookie cutter lots or cookie cutter homes, but there's continuity. They go together. It looks like they belong together.
Yeah, and I think, and I know it maybe not is the politically correct word to use, but it does allow you to have some control over what's going on in there. As you said, what gets on there, the consistency, the materials, the plans, what it all looks like, and really making sure that the houses are good houses, that that they've been built well, that they don't end up being a problem for somebody else next door. It does have a lot of advantages, I would think.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
To live in the neighborhood there's a lot of advantage.
Exactly. I would think so, too. Kevin, this seems like a good place for us to take a quick little break. So let's do that. I want to come back a little bit, and I want to talk about some of these new projects that you have, because they are more than a neighborhood, okay?
They are.
All right, very good. We'll take a quick little break here. We'll come right back and continue visiting with Kevin Johnson from Accurate Development.
This is Welcome Home on News Radio 1040 WHO.
We are back here this Saturday at Welcome Home. Thanks again for being with us on a nice summer weekend. Hopefully you're doing a lot of things, and we are so happy that you are here with us. We have our friend Kevin Johnson from Accurate Development with us, and he's nice enough to spend the whole hour with us today. And we don't get him here very often, so we're gonna ask him a lot of questions while we have him. Kevin, we were talking about in the first segment that you guys not only build, but you also do the development side of it as well, and that makes it kind of unique because you're doing the development and you're able to build in all of those projects. But I want to talk about a couple of the projects that you guys still have right now that are out there. One, we've been talking about Hallbrook. It's almost done.
It is.
It is almost done.
368 houses done, one to go.
Was this the biggest project that you had done up to this point?
Yeah, much. It was the largest by a long way.
Was there anything unique about this piece of ground when you were buying it?
There was. The owner who owned the ground would sell it to me in different pieces, so I didn't have to have all the money day one.
Oh.
Which in 2001, I didn't have the money all at once. So,
that was nice of you.
That was unique. But it was a very neat piece of ground to start with. It had some natural treat areas. It had some areas that really made sense as a park. It had a deep ravine in it that we turned into a beautiful pond. It's just fabulous looking pond.
And there's fish in the pond, isn't there?
There's a big fountain. So it had some really unique features. There again, it wasn't just a flat piece. So there was a bunch of things that all kind of fell into place.
And tell people where this location is out here.
We are directly off of Douglas. It started at 144th Street.
Okay, I
had to think about it. That's Plat 1. That's where the sign was.
Yep.
But 144th, and we go to 153rd.
Okay.
And then it's on the south side of Douglas, and it goes back in.
And again, when you first were up there was not anything else up there.
There was nothing up there.
You guys were the only street, the only thing, and it's just kind of grown up around you, hasn't
144th and Douglas is where the sign was. That we met that had nothing but a sign.
That's exactly right. I'm not sure that the street was even yet at that point in time. So, and so there's just one house left up there.
One house, yeah.
Wow.
It's a 2-story.
Wow.
It's a similar house we built with some alterations. It's neat to see homes through the years as they go through. There's, the houses we're building today are much different than the ones 10 years ago.
Yes.
As far as styles, as far as construction, as far as windows, just everything has evolved. Things get better through time, and homes
But it's got to be fun to kind of drive through there, isn't it?
It is, yeah. If you go back now and look, what we built 10 years ago was installed 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What we're building today, it looks new, it looks modern.
Right, fresh for now.
Fresher. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And the other thing about that, we were talking about planned communities, because that's really what you try to do too. Hallbrook actually was not just single-family homes either. We had townhouses.
We did.
Traditional townhouses, and we had association homes, right?
Correct, which was basically
Can you tell we've been out there before?
Yeah.
I remember this stuff, Kevin.
We basically built out there. We had done townhomes that were not attached. So they were basically a single-family home that was in an association. So you get your lawn care and snow removal done.
All that good stuff, absolutely. Another project that you're well into, Bent Creek Ridge. Now, you said this, people might recognize this because Bent Creek, there was a home show there a couple of years ago?
Yeah, there was 2 years ago, and then there was a home show there maybe
Before
6
that.
or 7 years ago. So there's been 2 home shows at Bent Creek.
And where is that?
We are directly adjacent to it.
Okay.
But it is north of Meredith Drive and off of 156, which is closed down this year because they're doing the...
Of course it is.
The city is spending a lot of money on 156 to make it look like this is the future of Urbandale. That's why everything that we're doing is in Urbandale. The city is doing a fantastic job job.
Yeah.
Boulevard in the streets, 4 lanes, all the infrastructure, and they are making it first class all the way. It's really neat to be a part of it. And none of that was out there when we started Holbrook.
Absolutely.
But now Douglas is all 4 lane, 156 is 4 lane.
Sure.
Meredith Drive, a section of it's 4 lane, and it's more than just 4 lanes of traffic. It's a boulevard in the center with landscaping.
Looks pretty.
The regional park is right there. So the city of Urbandale is doing a fantastic job on their city planning.
Their improvements, yeah. And you're right, it is planning on their part of it, too.
is.
They're not just doing that all over the place, kind of wherever somebody comes along and says, we want to do a project. They're thinking ahead of all of that,
They had
too.
a vision of what they wanted Western Urbandale to look like, and it will be second to none when it's done.
Cool. That's interesting. And it's nice to hear that they're doing it right, too.
They are.
The Bent Creek Ridge, what are we seeing out there? What kind of pricing for housing? Is there anything cool or unique, or why did you like this piece of ground?
Well, it had a couple unique features. One is there again, it had some rolling ground. That it had trees, which I love the trees.
There's one that's just huge.
Yeah.
You couldn't get your arms around.
There's a tree out there that we saved.
Yeah.
We moved streets to make it work within the plat itself. 3 people put their arms around it to wrap around this tree.
Wow.
It's just massive.
Wow.
But there's a couple nice draws that go through there. Really, really nice trees. And it was an area that you weren't going to get a huge density of lots. It was spread out a little bit. In 30 acres, we only got 39 lots.
Wow.
And in those 39 lots, a couple of them took 2 lots to build really nice estates. So it's spread out. The lots are big. Trees, contour. It sits up nice and high. So
Cool.
it just had a really bunch of really unique features that really lent itself to the homes we built.
How many lots left up in that
We
area?
have 8 left, and we
Okay.
started with 39.
Okay. And as you said, price range of
Price
houses
range,
that's up there?
we start at $605,000.
Okay.
And then there's a couple homes in the neighborhood that are way up there.
Well, you said somebody might have taken 2 lots to build something on that. That means a pretty good sized house on that, doesn't it? So, cool. And now the newest project, we have a brand new one, don't we?
We do. And it's very difficult to get to
Can't
today.
get there from here.
Well,
we did that with Holbrook, too, didn't we, a couple of times?
156th Street is shut down, so you actually have to go north of Meredith to Waterford, and then 160th and just work your way south. But the new development is called Acadia. It's 156 acres. We'll have 250 home sites, park in the middle.
And again, this is a planned community.
We've had this piece of land for 2 years now and designed the whole piece to really go together. We've got some cul-de-sacs. We've got the park in the middle. We've got a couple really neat, I want to say, estate areas for really big lots where we've shortened the cul-de-sacs, made some really big lots on the end of cul-de-sacs to really spread them out. So we've spent a lot of time on it, and we're anxious to get going on Plat 2.
Sure. And it's going to have a big clock tower at the front entry.
And we're not actually going to put a clock in it. We're going to put our logo in it.
Well, there you go.
But it's a masonry structure.
Otherwise, you'd have to be out there setting the clock and daylight savings time and all that. Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Talk about some of the things that it's close to as far as we were just talking about Urbandale and all the things that they're doing. I mean, this project is like right there.
It is. We are in Urbandale.
Okay.
We're in Waukee schools, of which they're building more schools out there all the time. So, great family area.
Yes.
There's Acadia is 156. It's between 156 and Alice's Road. That's kind of the location of it, north of Meredith Drive.
Right.
So, like grocery shopping, you've got Hy-Vee, the brand new Hy-Vee's up there. Beautiful. There's
bike trails.
The regional park that I mentioned earlier, which the city is, I think it's about a 15-year project, but by the time that they've done the planning, acquisition of the ground, trails, but they have a park system out there that is just outstanding.
Yeah, it's
and
gonna
we're
be
right
cool.
next to that, so you can walk down to that. They're also going to have outdoor amphitheater and some other things in the works. So it is really, really neat.
Cool. And again, there's so much stuff that's going out there. But as you said too, they're really working on all the street systems as well out there. So you think if you're working someplace else and getting home at night or leaving in the morning or whatever, I would think that would help eliminate some of that congestion and stuff out there too.
They're spending the money up front on the streets.
Okay.
It's a little tough through construction. Like today, it's tough to get there. But when the homes are done, it will be is as nice as there is in Central Iowa.
And how many houses will be in this project when you're due?
250. There's 29 in Phase 1. We've started Phase 1.
I was just going to ask, where are you at in the process?
We have 6 homes under construction.
Okay.
And we've got some really, really neat home sites back into a green belt, creek down behind it, walkouts. So there's anything that people want is pretty much what we've designed there.
Okay. And then we've got, 2 more plats coming up after that?
There's 2 more plats.
Okay.
I'm hoping to start Plat 2. They're starting the sewer on it here in 2 weeks. So
wow.
Plat 2 is moving along. Plat 2 is a little bit larger plat. It comes in off of Meredith Drive, 162nd in Meredith.
Okay.
And that's where our big entry feature will be, a clock tower, masonry structure. So it looks really good.
It's going to look nice there, if you do say so yourself, right?
Yep, I designed it.
There
so
you go. It better look that way. So, Kevin, let's take a quick little break. That seems like a good spot, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the housing side of things.
Great.
Okay? All right.
Good.
Sounds good. All right, take a quick little break here at Welcome Home. We'll be right back with our friend Kevin Johnson from Accurate Development.
Now, more Welcome Home with Sherry Failor on News Radio 1040 WHO.
We are back here at Welcome Home. Thanks again for being with us. We've got our friend Kevin Johnson from Accurate Development with us. Hasn't been with us for a while, so we've got him here for the whole show, and we're just talking today. Chat a little bit about Acadia, more than a neighborhood. That's the new slogan. We like that, don't we?
Yep,
more than a
like
neighborhood. That. And this is a brand new project that's up in Urbandale, and Plat 1 is started.
Correct.
Building some houses up there, and you guys are building all of the houses. What kind of a price range are you going to see in that whole project up there? Depends on the plat?
Well, it depends on the plat. Plat 1, we have homes that start at $600,000 and then on up. And what $600,000 gets you all 3 floors finished. They're 2 stories.
Okay.
So upstairs you get 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, main floor, very nice kitchens. We spend a lot of money on our kitchens, so that very nice kitchens, lots of windows. Something else that we really take a lot of time with is our window packages. Downstairs we're finishing all of those. If somebody wanted to come in and say, we don't want the lower level finish today, we want to hold off, and we don't know exactly what we want, we can sure do that, and those come off the price.
Absolutely.
And I think as an upper end there, I think you'll see houses that go on up to as much money as you want to spend. Those areas that I was talking about,
those executive areas,
it's just kind of, I think you'll see.
Sure. How do you decide? I mean, that's again a question there that you for the most part, you're doing custom homes, but again, you've got projects and you've got to have some spec houses in there to show people what you can do. You said you've got 6 houses in this project right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
All different?
All different.
Not cookie cutter. How do you decide what you're going to put up, Kevin?
Well, we like a...
Is it like the most popular one that you put up, or what?
There is some variations of some popular plans. There's some unique lots that we just do a complete design for.
Okay. Because it's a unique size lot, or the way it sits?
It's a unique lot, how it sits. The one I'm referring to now, we're going to do it as our model. It's got a 4-car side entry garage, big front porch on it. We did a metal roof on the front porch, something you don't normally see, just kind of neat looking, real natural stone, not the synthetic stone, but a real bed depth stone that is quarried, just like brick. So give it some unique looks. Covered decks are something we always do on all of them.
And I'm sure you guys are doing a lot more stuff with all that outdoor living area too, aren't you?
That's
Decks,
a huge,
porches.
huge area. Covered deck. Every house we build today has a covered deck.
You mean there's no more 10 by 10 decks on the backside?
No,
that's gone.
There's 10 by 10 decks are gone. So the decks have become larger. Portions of them covered, so you can use them different parts of the year and so on. You can go out there in a rainstorm. And, if you like
turn the ball game on. You bet. TV's on and everything.
So it's kind of neat how it's evolved into more outdoor stuff.
Absolutely.
What it used to be.
And a nice variety. And the things I want to talk about from the building side of things for you too, Kevin, is that there's a couple of things. One that springs to mind is you have your own guy. You had a guy that's in the back room. You have your own designer that is drawing all your plans for you. I mean, so these are yours. You're not going to have him talk to somebody else down the road or anything. You're custom doing them for you.
We are. Having our own designer in-house there's a whole bunch of reasons why it's good. But one of them is if somebody comes in, looks at one of our homes, says, I really like this home, but I want this, and this change. We have the ability to bring them in, sit down with the designer and myself, go through those. If it's just a few changes, it might be half an hour's worth of work. We turn it over, let them take a look at it. We do that all the way to full-blown custom, starting with an idea on a napkin.
I was going to say the pizza box,
that we spend a lot of time and go through.
Yeah.
But to have him in-house, timing is a huge issue. Also, we're not a cookie-cutter neighborhood, so it's not all. We don't have 10 plans,
right?
And every house is one of those 10 plans.
Yeah, you don't look down the street and they all look the same, right?
So every home is different. So in doing that, it takes a lot more design time on the front side,
right?
And that's what we have there.
It allows you to do it in-house and kind of tweak it as you go on that. I could certainly see a lot of advantages for that. And one of the other pieces of this puzzle is that, and you've had this for a long time, and you guys are actually getting ready to move into a brand new building, aren't you? When are you going to get in there?
I think it'll be October sometime.
I keep asking your staff about this, and they don't seem to know, Kevin, when you're moving.
I think it'll be October in that time frame. If we stop raining this year, it'll be quicker. But we're trying to get parking lots in now.
Okay.
We're working on the interior. But the design center is something we started 10 years ago, and we tried to simplify, streamline the home building process. Right. So if somebody wants a truly custom home, we don't want to send them to the tile shop, and then you're lugging tile around in your car. And you go into the cabinet shop, and does that match? We have it all in-house. So you can pick your entire home out at our place of business there. 600 square feet is what our old design center was, and we're going to 2,400 square feet.
Holy cow! So you'll be able to have the furniture and everything else there, Kevin.
Yeah, well, the selections of what people get to pick from today, there's a whole bunch of reasons we're going to something bigger.
Yeah.
One is the amount of things that you can pick from today is much bigger.
Right.
The homes are much more custom than I would say they were 10 years ago.
So you want to give them more options,
we want to give them
you?
more options.
Sure.
We want to show them a couple different kitchen layouts, a couple different shower doors, interior doors. We'll have a huge selection of them.
Let alone when you start looking at the flooring options. Crazy.
Fireplace options. We do a range of homes. We're not just a contemporary builder.
Right.
We do some contemporary. Our website, which is just updated and new, we have some contemporary looks on there. Traditional has been mostly what we've done in the past, but we like a range of what's all there. So to get that range of what's there, you have to have contemporary tile, contemporary cabinets. You have to have the traditional hand railings, the traditional cabinets, and we wanted to bring that all under one roof to simplify it.
And that's not to say that if somebody has a certain something, a custom something that they want in, I mean, you're certainly going to work with them on all that kind of stuff, but there are some of the basic parts of it that it's got to be a lot easier to just bring them into one location.
Sure. When you mentioned somebody had something that was custom, we had just finished a home out in the Bent Creek area. Somebody had a stained glass window from a house that they had 30 years ago. Yeah. And it's up on our website. And we actually built an entire room around these stained glass windows. So we do that really customized stuff. And if you check our website out, you'll see what it is. But it's stained glass. It's backlit. It's got stone around it. And we build a cabinet around it. So we can do that really, really intricate stuff if somebody wants to. And if you don't, we can do the I always say contemporary has less lines, less things to it. We can do that.
Less gingerbread.
Less gingerbread. Reclaimed woods. One we just finished up. Somebody wanted a reclaimed mantle. They wanted some reclaimed wood in their kitchen area. So we integrated that in with our other cabinets, and it gave it a real contemporary look. So.
Well, and I think you guys have been around long enough. You've got great people working with you, and the design center and all. You guys are really good at my term, holding somebody's hand through the process, because people don't build houses every day. I mean, it is nice to have somebody that's kind of there supporting you through the process.
You bet. We have two designers that work on the interior finishes of homes.
Cool.
Which is, they're the ones who put the home together. They put the flooring together.
Pick everything out.
Yeah, flooring, cabinetry, fireplace, what it's going to look like. The really intricate things on the interior of a home. They've been with me a long time. They know what we do. We can do anything as far out wild custom as you want. We've got a couple now that are just spectacular. Onto something a little more traditional. So we do a wide range of things.
And the last, before we take another break here, Kevin, I want to let you address this too, because I know you look at all these people as kind of a team effort here, that you can't do it by yourself. You have your people in-house, but you've got great subs that you've worked with for a long time, great suppliers that you've worked with for a long time. It really is a team effort when you're building these custom
It
homes.
sure is. And to have a team that you put together and keep the same people, it really gives consistency in the homes that you're doing.
Right.
So like the framing carpenters, I've had the same framers for 15 years.
Wow.
So when you get a house that's one of our homes, it's framed by somebody that's been around a long time. It's not some guy who just started 2 weeks ago in a pickup truck and here's what you get.
Yeah, or painting or anything.
Painting.
And the nice thing is, too, you know what you can get from them, and they know what you're looking for, too. And I think there's got to be a level of trust that works there.
Yeah, there sure is.
Yeah.
And we always try to keep the subs that we have. I think they do the best job. They get paid very well to do a very good job. And they like being there because they can make a living, which
Absolutely.
you have to have them, they have to be paid enough where they can make a good living.
And they're proud of what they do. And I think that's absolute. Like, say, you drive into a project like Hallbrook or the Bent Creek or the Acadia one that'll be coming up. And, again, they're all unique. They're all new. And that's got to be fun for those guys, too, if it's not all that cookie cutter stuff either.
It sure is.
Something new every day, isn't it, at your place? I know. Kevin, let's take one more break here, and we'll come back. I want to talk to you a little bit about maybe how things have changed and maybe how they've stayed the same, I guess, in the building industry here. And we'll see how we can do there, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, very good. We're going to take a quick little break here at Welcome Home, and we will be right back one more time with Kevin Johnson, our friend from Accurate Development.
This is Welcome Home on News Radio 1040 WHO.
We are back here one more time at Welcome Home. We hope you're having a great weekend. We are so glad you are here with us. We got our friend Kevin Johnson from Accurate Development. Kevin, we were just talking about website and all of that kind of stuff. Before I forget, why don't you give me a website address and maybe a phone number, too, so people can get a hold of you here.
Phone number is 327 0800.
Made you look there, didn't I?
I had to look to see what it was.
And what's the website?
It's accuratedevelopment.com.
Very good. Talking about housing, because, again, you're doing the development, you're building those projects out, moving into a great new location here pretty soon this fall, and have on in-house designers, in-house plans, in-house showroom. You're doing it all. You've been doing this for 24 years now. Things the same? Things changed? What are we seeing?
There's actually a lot of changes.
Yeah?
There is.
In everything?
In pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Everything evolves. Everything
So
gets
you
better.
have to forget everything that you learned before, or you just build on that?
You
maybe?
build on that.
There you go.
But, like, for instance, a couple years ago, we had energy code changes. Well, we built homes for 22 years with 2x4 walls.
Right.
Well, every home we build today has 2x6 walls.
Right.
So there's a change. There's a cost associated with going to 2x6, but it is a better house. I would, you can't say it's not a better house. You get more insulation in the walls.
Right.
A 2x6 typically is a straighter piece of lumber than a 2x4 wall.
Right.
It does your jamb thicknesses of your windows a little bit deeper. So what that allows you to do, your window treatments can go on the inside of the glass as opposed to outside. So all the nice trim we put on it, you can still see it.
But interestingly enough, even when they made all those changes, you think, okay, great. Instead of 2x4s, we're going to do 2x6. We're going to do that. Actually, though, that meant like you probably had to rework plans because they weren't the same. I mean, there was a lot of things that meant you changed because of that.
You bet. Like there was areas in bathrooms that 2 inches
tubs don't fit anymore.
They don't fit. So this wall's got to be pushed. That wall's got to be pushed. About 7 or 8 years ago, the stairway geometry changed. So they lowered the height of the step and they lengthened the rise of the run. So the tread's a little bit longer. Well, that seems like an easy change, but what it did, it added 2 feet to every stairway. So the fronts of your houses had to be pushed out.
Right.
If you had a standard stairway that went to the front.
Right.
But what that did
all that
on the
code
flip
stuff,
side,
I mean, you guys have got to be staying on the code stuff all the time, don't you?
Yeah, codes change every year. But the stairway change, what happened was, so that code changes. But what we did then is we started looking at our plans and saying, well, how about not doing just a straight run of stairs? Let's do U-shaped stairs and let's put them in the middle of the house. So some of those changes, it kind of makes you think.
Prompts you to do something new and different. Sure.
So now a lot of we do a lot of U-stair shapes, a lot of L stairs just to break them up. And it gave us a reason.
That room again, too.
It gave us a reason to look at them and say, let's look at this and see if there's something better we can do.
Yeah, and I'm sure that, those are just some examples on the building side of it. Certainly, I'm sure on the development side of it, there are always changes that go along. I mean, city codes, it's the widths of streets and it's all of those things, too. Sure. You have to keep track of everything that goes along with that, too.
is a lot of things on the development side that's changed. A big one that's in the news every day now, if people watch for it, is the Clean Air and Water Act. It's wetlands, waterways of the United States. That's two big buzzwords in the development community.
Yep.
Which I think there's a lot of negatives that come along with that, a few positives, but it does add to the cost of lots.
Right.
People ask me all the time, why are home sites so expensive? Well, every time they change a rule in Washington, it goes on to the cost of that lot, which is, that's why lots are expensive.
Sure. And it's on the lots, and then it also translates into the house, because then there are the code changes that require that, and it means something else that gets added, something else. Again, it's just the way business works, I guess, on those kind of things, doesn't it?
You know, I always say, hopefully at some point the new rules and regulations will slow down, because it does add to the cost of houses.
Yeah.
You know, and our houses start at $600,000, and in Acadia Plat 2, we'll probably start our price range around $500,000. But $500,000 is a lot of money.
You betcha.
So,
you better be getting a great house for $500,000, Kevin.
But $500,000 doesn't get you what you used to get 20 years ago. It just doesn't. Because
what do you see as far as the? Because we talked to an awful lot of folks here on the show. I mean, lots of different pieces, whether it's the stone or it's the roofing materials or the cabinets or whatever else it might be. Even from the subs and supplier side of it, the products, the materials, the services, all of that stuff's changed an awful lot too, hasn't it? I mean, I would hope you were going to say for the better.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Everything gets better. If it doesn't get better, it gets kind of phased out.
Right.
But you know, with the energy codes changing, like SEER ratings on air conditioners have all gone up. You know, you used to have 9 SEER air conditioners. Well, there is no such thing anymore. They're all 14, 15 SEER. So a lot of those things are for the better. Geothermal is something that Bend Creek Ridge we did as a standard out there.
Oh, really?
Which is, you know, you pay extra on the front side, but there is a tax credit available that you get, so it helps ease the pain there, but it makes your heating and cooling very, very cheap, because you're basically using the temperature of the ground, 55 degrees, to cool it, and also to heat it up to 55 degrees.
And, you know, we look at things like windows. I mean, windows certainly have come a long way on that stuff.
Siding is always better. Floor joists, I can remember we made the change. It's probably been 15 years ago now. Went from 2x10s to I-joist construction. And at the time, there were more money to go to the I-joists. And after you did one house with I-joists, you
never look back?
No, you never look back, because you just think, why in the world did we ever use 2x10s and 2x12s?
Right.
The engineered woods are a very good thing.
Yes.
You know, the windows, the low-E coatings on the glass, you know, all those things evolve, and they evolve for the better. Nothing's getting cheaper and less. Everything's, you know, the price goes up some, but the performance of the home itself is going up as well.
And even on the whole technology side of things, too. I mean, I think I see that as a big trend. I mean, everything is automated these days. I mean, you got to be a computer engineer to understand all this, Kevin.
You can run your phone, or you can run your home by your cell phone.
Absolutely.
So we don't do a lot of those. We do them as a request, because a lot of people they don't want to take the time and effort to run them. But you can run your stove with your cell phone. Well, in practical uses, who's ever going to do that? Probably not very many. But security security system's a great deal. You're on vacation. You can check your security system to make sure it's armed. Okay, well, you've got a babysitter that's going to go to the house. You can unarm it from your cell phone if you're in Florida. So those type practical uses are really, really neat innovations that are.
And again, maybe those are the suit, you know, build a suit kind of deals, I guess, on that. If you want that and that's what you're about and you want it, then great, we can add them. If not, put your money someplace else on that stuff.
And a lot of that stuff is not very expensive. It's when you really get into the intricate lighting details, and, you know, running your furnace and all that type stuff, you'll spend a fair amount of money. You know, there's a practical point that people that they use, and most of those applications are not that expensive.
Exactly. And again, you know, you were talking about even like lower levels and things like that. You know, there used to be people wouldn't finish off their basements before. Everybody's doing all that too, and that just is a cheaper, more cost-effective way of doing it.
Well, once your structure is there, and I always say that the key to making it nice space down there, lots of windows, taller ceilings, and then finish it out with the same finishes as the rest of the house.
Makes it feel like the whole house, doesn't it?
It used to be when you looked at a basement, you'd put a drop ceiling in and cheap carpet, and
it was cold, it was damp,
cold.
and
we put the same finishes.
Hand-me-down furniture and all the rest of it.
So it's
it
nice.
Looked
you know,
like that.
Fireplaces with stone on them, wet wet bars, those are all popular and all of them. Wine rooms is something that's huge today. We're doing a lot of wine rooms.
Well, and when you talked about the outdoor living areas too, I mean, if you got to walk out, I mean,
it's right there.
Wow, it's all right there, isn't it? So, well, it sounds to me like things are changing, but for the better then, right?
They are absolutely for the better.
So they don't build them the way they used to.
Thank goodness.
That's not the way the line goes, Kevin. But sentiment well taken, I think, on that kind of stuff. So, and again, all of it's getting better, and we certainly push the home market here because there is no place like home, and that is something that everybody kind of tries to aspire to. So, well, we're going to let you get out of here for the day because we know you have lots going on with everything. I want you to give me the phone number one more time to get a hold of you, and also a website because, as you said, lots of pictures, lots of ideas, lots of things to see on there, right?
327-0800 is our phone number.
Okay.
And it's accuratedevelopment.com. We just updated it this weekend. It went live yesterday.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
It's new and fresh. There may be some typos, but
we'll catch up on those later, though. But information about all the projects on there, including the new Acadia project?
Correct. It's all on there.
And including directions about how to get to Acadia?
There is directions on how to
very good, because you can't get there from here right now. So, Kevin Johnson from Accurate Development, thanks so much for being here, hon. I appreciate it, okay? All right. We are going to get out of here for the weekend. We hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Get lots of fun things done on a summer weekend. And we will see you next weekend right here for Welcome Home on WHO. Have a good one, everybody.